Good morning. Beautiful. It's lovely to see you. Inside today, it's just too breezy out. Just been to the top of the hill, just had my meditation. You know, I'm here. Woo, I'm lit up. And because we're inside, we're doing rocks. And I can tidy myself up. Scruffy me. So the first little rock that we're going to play with today is this beautiful little singing crystal. Morning, Linda. Gorgeous to see you. Now, singing crystals are normally a lot thinner than this, but if I get one of the other ones that I'm going to show you today, it really does sing. And, you know, besides that, it's got all these beautiful markings, just straight lines. It's very transparent. It's a real beauty, this one. And you can see how symmetrical the shape is, you know. There's a triangle on the other side. It's just gorgeous, even if I show you here. See, it really is a very beautifully formed crystal. And, you know, it's nice when they're quote-unquote perfect, but it's also nice when they're really fugly and different. Morning, Jade. Lovely to see you. Yay, Sharon. Morning, morning. So this is a piece of angel glass, and from memory it is manufactured stone, quote unquote. I can't even remember, but isn't it beautiful? You know, it's just glorious with this kind of rainbowy, soft, smooth thing, which reminds me of moonstone, but believe me, this is not moonstone. It is a manufactured crystal, so very pretty. And it's very sort of, you know, it's smooth, it's kind of nice to play with and a bit peaceful and all of that stuff, so I enjoy it. And this one, good morning, Elizabeth. It's lovely to see you. This is really little, you got to look close. This is, can you see a piece of ametrine? It's purple on the bottom and the proper smoky ametrine colour there. And this was given to me by Eric and Laura. And it's kind of lovely because it's like one half's Eric and the other half's Laura, and don't ask me which is which. They actually gave me two, but this is the one that wanted to come play today. So here it is. Beautiful little thing. It's just lovely, you know. I don't buy crystals now. I've got more than enough. I've got no space to store them. But very occasionally somebody gives me one, and that's really lovely because then I know who it's come from. Last but not least, one of the bigger fellas, fellaresses, whoever they are. This is beautiful, of course. It's smoky quartz. It's part of a larger cluster that came over from somewhere that I don't remember, and it broke in transit. Morning, Victor. Lovely to see you. Which, of course, was a tragedy for the person that, you know, bought it in as a cluster and wanted it as a cluster. It was really lucky for me because I got this piece. And it's just beautiful. I mean, obviously, this is where it was cut, wherever it was grown, but look at all this stuff that's growing at the bottom of the crystals. Good morning, Julian. Now we have the captain and number one on the bridge. In case anybody wonders, they're on camel duty, and camels are bumps on the internet. Heather, good morning. So we're just enjoying this gorgeous thing. The thing I really like about it is it sort of looks like shattered ice inside, you know. That's all inside the crystal, not outside. Just really fond of this. Eric and Laura are a little bit interchangeable, and yet they manage to remain themselves in this lovely, lovely relationship that they have discovered, and they met here. So I'm kind of, you know, I feel excited about that because they met in this space. And it's one of those beautiful love stories that happens. So yay, miracles really are possible. Jocelyn, good morning. We're just savouring this beautiful, wonderful, glorious piece of smoky quartz. I just love all that detail there. So, oh, and look, I forgot to start the timer. So I don't know, I'm going to say that instead of going to 22 minutes, we're going to go to 18. Because normally by the time I played with rocks, it's 4 or 5 minutes. So there you go. So, oh, congratulations are in order. Graduation is a milestone. Yay! Awesome. I'm going to put that over there for some reason. It just makes me feel better. Right. So today I want to talk about knowing what you want. And yeah, you know, it's so obvious, right? What do you want? But when you really, really, really start to ask yourself, frequently we all end up with a big fat, I don't know, really? You know, what do I want? This question used to drive me crazy. Set a goal, find something that lights you up and fills you with passion and desire. Didn't know, couldn't connect to it, no clue. And you sort of try to latch onto something and then it falls flat, and you latch onto something else and it falls flat, and nothing really grabs you, nothing really resonates, nothing really says, pick me, and this is your purpose, this is why you're here. Yeah, there's all this other stuff going on and it's all beautiful, it's all part of it, but this is your reason to exist, right? And I know I've said this before, but I'll say it again. I used to say, I'm not like Peter Jackson, who was probably New Zealand's most famous filmmaker, Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit. Now you know who he is. He's the guy who grew up, wandering around the Hutt Valley, wherever he was, went to school, very ordinary Kiwi guy, right? But he always knew he wanted to make movies. From probably, I don't know, before he was a teenager. Morning, Timothy! He knew what he wanted to do. And, it's like, I envy you, you sod, because, it took him some decades, right? But he was chasing his dream, and he made all kinds of movies and he gained experience. And then, we all sort of think of Peter Jackson being related to Lord of the Rings, but actually there was bad taste. There was this, there were all kinds of things that he made beforehand. So there was this process, but he always knew what he wanted to do. And I know a lot of people can relate, because that is where I was. And it took me, I had no idea even vaguely what I was about until I was 40. Morning, Sarah! And, I've been in this body 53 and a half years, and now I really know why I'm here. I know it without a shadow of a doubt. No question. I know what I'm here to do. So, how in heck does that happen, that you go from saying, well, I don't really know and nothing grabs me, to I really know, and I don't care what's happening in my life, I don't care what my body's doing, and I don't care how long it takes, I'm going to do this because this is what I'm here to do. How do you make that process? So the first thing to realise is that from birth, by society, by community, by, expectations and everything else, never mind the media as we grow up, we are conditioned to think that we want certain things, right? And the problem with a lot of us here is that we've already realised, either by experience or because we always somehow knew, that those certain things did not do it for us. I was like that. I can remember being a young teenage girl, really, and looking at people, and they're talking about boyfriends, and they're reading magazines, and they're excited about hairstyles and fashions, and it was just like, oh, I so don't give a shit, really. Truly. I mean, I wouldn't use those words, but that was the feeling. This leaves me cold. This leaves me utterly ungripped, just there. And I stayed there for a long time because, you're supposed to get a job, which I did, because, you have to earn your way. Notice that word, earn. You have to get a job. You need some place to live. The wall is way harder than mine. Yeah, I know. Well, this is for you, Victor. It's for others, but it's for you too, right? So, I did all the things, and I actually married a man who wasn't right for me. What do I really want to do? I didn't have a clue either, Linda. Oh my God. I mean, I so relate to this, and I know a lot of you relate to me. So I did all of the things that I kind of had to do, because you got to have somewhere to live, and, and I married a person who was not right for me. I mean, it was could have been a lot worse, but it wasn't right for me. Devin, it's beautiful to see you. And I did all those things, and none of them really resonated, but I was so out of alignment with the truth of myself, and I didn't know that there was probably no way that I would have recognised what was right for me at the time. Because I had no clue, because I didn't really know who I was. So, that's another thing. Oh, shit, fine. Really? You got to know who you are to know what you love. I haven't really thought about it that way, but quite possibly. don't get all wound up on that, because the whole question of who am I is about as silly as what I want to do. Kathleen, morning gorgeous. So the first thing to realise is that if you don't resonate with it, you don't resonate with it, and you don't need to justify the fact that all the things that are supposed to excite you don't. Helen, good morning. Because that really did, what's wrong with me? I know I've said this before, sort of after I recognised energy and personal development, all that stuff, people say, oh, this new thing's come out and I'm studying it and it's awesome and it's amazing, and I sort of take a look at it and go, no, I'm not interested. And that would happen over and over and over and over again. It was just like, no. What is wrong with me that I don't want to do any of this stuff? Nothing's wrong with you. It's just you haven't found that thing that goes yes to you. So, and I stayed there for a long time. Now, in the middle of, 2017, I connected with my mentor that I worked with for about 18 months, and she was really helpful to me. And the short version in regard to this problem that I learned is that sometimes for a long time, you actually have to just go with how you want to feel. And that may be the only thing you know. But remember, in the quantum model of reality, if you have an elevated emotion, that is a magnetic thing that goes out and draws more that's like that to you, as long as you have some vague idea of a thing that might look like. And the other thing is, you don't really need to know exactly what it looks like. All this thing about goal setting is, be specific. All these details, vision board it and get all the pictures out of the magazine. Like, still, that does nothing for me. I use little stickies with words on, because the word is like I write the word and it means all this stuff to me, and I don't need to fill in the pictures like that. Some people do, some people don't. So you've got to find your own way of working with this. So use the feelings as a start. And even if it's just, like for me, I want to feel free, I want to feel light, I want to feel effortless, I want to feel that money does come from nowhere and does grow out of trees, and I just reach out my hand and it's there, and I want to change the world, because I do, and I'm here to do that, and I don't know what it looks like, because maybe your vision's so huge that no one's ever had a vision like that before, and you kind of have to download it piece by little piece by becoming the person that has that much desire to do something big, but you don't know what it is yet, because you got to connect with the desire. You got to let the desire grow. It's this dance is the only word I can use. It's a journey. So where was I? So you have the feeling and you start to flesh it out with just something that you can hang on to in your mind, right? So I'm only consistently interested in spirituality and philosophy. Okay. Good morning, gorgeous. So let's play with that, seeing as you've given me something to play with. Because, for me, really, I didn't realise that I wanted to change the world. I just had no idea. But if that's what you're interested in, one of the ways to look at it is to think, okay, if I'm 80, if I finished my life and I'm looking back, how do I want the world to be different? Because one way or another, and for some people it is, I want to look back and see that I raised fantastic grandchildren. Or I want to look back and see that I developed, a thing that means that windows make electricity. There are people doing that. I want to look back and see that I contributed this. How do you want to contribute? Is one way to get into this problem. Because we often think, what do I want? Do I want a house? Do I want money? Do I want a car? Whatever. And it's like, nah. What we really want to do is contribute. When all your needs are met, when you have a roof over your head and you're not hungry, and, and even some people like my friend Sangmarie, they've got half of that stuff in place and they still want to give. That's our fundamental state of being as humans. When we're in alignment, when we're whole, when we're, when we're not currently dying or running away from a predator, we want to give. So a really useful question to ask is, how do I want to contribute? What do I want to leave behind? You don't need to worry about how do I want to be remembered. Who cares? You're eternal. You are known and recognised and remembered and seen and acknowledged through the whole of time and in a gazillion bazillion different places. It doesn't matter if nobody remembers your name, because the whole universe knows who you are. So that thing can just, go away. We don't need to be famous. I don't want to change the world so that everybody knows who I am. I don't give a stuff, but I deeply desire to have impact. That's just, it's innate in me. It just took me a long time to recognise it. I didn't have any idea about that. There were no thoughts, possibilities, ideas seeded into my being when I was young that actually that's, maybe that might be something that you could want to do. So the feeling gives you like a doorway around your wall or through your wall or over your wall, Victor. Like you're saying, the wall is so there because you're looking for something tangible. You say, I want to do that. I want to be that. I want that thing in my life, whatever. But a different way to look at it is to think, well, what impact do I want to have? Or, even here's another thought that's just flown into my head. If I've got more than one lifetime, and let's just imagine that that's true, whether you believe it or not, but if I was going to come back after the life that I'm living now, what would I want to come back to and pick up and carry on with? It's a creative, it's a fun way to think about it, because we've got to get rid of these boxes and things that we're used to. We just got to get outside of the box, realise that the brick wall is an illusion. It's not real, but we're so accustomed to it being real because we think about it the normal way. So, destiny, where do I want to end up? And you might only get one tiny idea. I want to invent a better whatever. But then, even if it's just, something very vague, but you can attach that to the feeling of, this is the impact I want to make, right? And when I've made that impact, when I look back on my life, I feel so grateful and I feel so satisfied in myself. And there you go. You see, you want to create peace. Awesome. So then you think, okay, and never mind what it looks like. How do I feel when I've created peace? How do I move? How do I breathe? What do I hear? What am I saying? How does my world look? What is my environment like? Who's with me? Who's not with me? You can start fleshing that out. You say, and don't expect yourself to immediately know. But if you're in the process of creating peace, or if you have created peace, what does it look like, you see? And this is how we start to get to grips with these really ephemeral dreams. And the reason why you can't say it's that is because, if you're in this space with me, you're reaching for something bigger. You're reaching for something that maybe hasn't been done before. Jenna, good morning, beautiful. And this is the thing. The thing that I want to do, nobody's done before. Which means, remembering what we were talking about yesterday, I actually have to carve a pathway through the quantum field to connect with a potential that's never been seen before. I'm reminded of the 100 monkeys. 100 monkeys? Some of you will know, some of you won't. Galapagos Islands, right? Somewhere near Madagascar, a chain of islands. And it's the place where Charles Darwin went, and he sort of formed his theory of evolution because you had these similar species on these islands, but because the islands were separate little land masses and they'd separated however long ago, the same species on the different islands had evolved differently. It was like, oh, there's a thing going on here. And he put the process together, right? So somebody had a really elegant and brilliant idea to do an experiment, and on one of the islands, they gave new foods to, were they monkeys or baboons, or there were some primates, right? I think monkeys on the island, and they gave them new food. It was kumara, which everybody knows is delicious. And they cooked it, but they dipped it in sand. And the monkeys wanted to eat this beautiful new food. Morning, Christine! But they couldn't, the sand didn't taste nice. And they were trying to work it out. And I don't know how long it took. But eventually, a matriarch in one of the tribes of monkeys figured it out. She worked out how to wash the sand off the kumara, and she ate it. Oh, this is good. And then she started to teach other members of her tribe, and the information spread on that particular island. Now, the interesting phenomenon was this. Okay, they're in Japan. Right, not Galapagos Islands. The interesting thing was this. When around about 100 monkeys on one of those islands had figured it out, suddenly they all worked it out. All of the islands suddenly knew how to wash the sand off the kumara and eat the new food. And what that is a very powerful and practical and relatable demonstration of the fact that when you are banging your head against a brick wall of what is accepted, what is understood, what is known, and I've been there, that you are carving a new path into consciousness. So there's some part of you that says, no, not that, no, not that. Where is the thing that I really desire? Where is the thing that, it's like, it's the one key that fits in my keyhole and the keyhole in my heart. What is that? And you are carving a path through consciousness to connect with it. And that's why it can be so, why is this hard? That's why. Because it's for you. It's only you. Natalie, good morning, beautiful. I know I'm out of time. I'm watching my clock. I'm just about out of time. But this is the thing, to realise that something is calling you from the field and saying, I'm your destiny. I'm the thing that you chose to do, to inhabit, to become, whatever, before you came in here, and I'm sitting here flashing like a neon light, and nothing else is going to fit for you. So keep going for the feeling of this fills me, this satisfies me, and what impact do I want to have? Because whatever it is, it's an impact. You can't live without having an impact. And realise that you might be bringing something completely new into consciousness, and that's why it's like, I don't know what this is. You're creating something new. Yeah. I think we go between. Sometimes we're the first monkey, and sometimes we're the 100th, and sometimes we're the other 10,000. So that's really what I wanted to share about, if you don't know what you want, understand that it's not nearly the simple question it's laid out to be. And you've got to connect with your desire, and you've got to let your desire grow and lead you. And it will. And understand that you might be desiring something that's never been done before. And that's why it's like, I can't see this. But it's there, and your desire will lead you. All right, beautiful beings, thank you so much for joining me. It's awesome always to share with you. I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.